Now joining us live on NewsX is Congress MP Hibi Eden. So appreciate you joining us. Well, NewsX, as you know, is running a campaign where we are appealing to the governments and industries to come together and send heavy machinery to Wayanad. What would you say about this campaign, and how badly is this campaign needed in Kerala, Wayanad at this point?
I would like to totally appreciate the initiative taken by NewsX. This is the time when Kerala needs all your prayers and help in different forms. In 2018, we had one of the most disastrous floods Kerala has ever seen in the history. And it is with only the support of the NGOs, the NRIs, the communities, which we overcame the floods and we rehabilitated. The campaign called Rebuild Kerala was a beautiful initiative where many of them together, without not just the government, but the other partners, public partners, social partners, came together on a single platform. The media also played a very important role. So I believe the campaign NewsX is running would definitely give us new hope to bring more people back to life. The desperate situation in Wayanad is such that people who are gone missing, they just to need at least to see them, their family members, for one last time, get some of their remains for the burials. So according to the statistics, I believe the death toll would rise to more than 400. So all of them want their relatives, their immediate brothers and sisters and husbands and wives to be buried. So this would be very helpful. The machineries, the modern instruments, equipments would be very helpful for the rescue operations to be in place.
Right, and what do you think is the needed further to help people, and what do you think other states can do to provide help to Kerala in this dark hour?
See, right now a few days have gone, and this is the time of rescue operations because of the adverse weather conditions. At times we are not able to work during the night time. There are many organizations which have provided the lights, the infrastructure, the machinery to gather a more light on the remains of people. More people who are alive are saved. More people who are stranded are being brought back. So these are the first stages of rescue operations. There are many people living in camps who have lost their land and houses and all the valuable equipments, including gold, which they've saved for their daughters' marriages. So this is a time when, after a few days of the rescue operations, our entire focus and priority is right now on the rescue operations. We expect to save more lives and to bring back remains of more people. One major thing would be the infrastructure to those places. Second would be the government to provide more land. People who have land can contribute land in many different forms. They have to be rehabilitated to such a place that it is not a landslide prone area, so that they can live their lives happier ever after. So the campaign should be on the rehabilitation efforts as well, whereby more people can build more houses in a safer place, more people contribute more land, and create an ecosystem whereby they come back to their normal lives. I would also like to request you to take an initiative to declare this as a national disaster and get more central funds as aid, as form of aid. As we know that when the budget was declared, many states were a part of the aid for the calamities, for flood relief, etc. But Kerala was not included in that list. So I would like the Home Ministry to declare this as a national disaster and get more financial package, at least a package of 10,000 crores for the rehabilitation and revitalization of Wayanad.
And what is your assessment of the rescue operation? Is it in its final phase, and can we hope to rescue more people now?
See, the NDRF forces, the Army, the Navy, all these central forces and the disaster relief management team, the state, local self-governments are working hand in hand. I would like to salute the Indian Army and all the central forces and the NGOs and the people who are involved in the rescue operations. They are doing a fabulous and fantastic job. But the climate is so adverse, rain has continuously been happening, and the rescue operations have not reached to a place where we can expect much more miracles. But they are continuing their efforts in spite of all the adverse climatic conditions. We expect more people to be saved and more remains of people to be brought back. So we all hope for the best.
And do you think that the state and centre should work together to immediately allocate houses to the families who have been affected by this tragedy?
See, this is not a time for controversy between the central and state governments. This is a time where we should be focusing, and our priorities should be totally into the rescue operations. The deceased families, the sorrow, the grief they have, whatever money you give them, it is not enough to bring back them to their normal lives. There are members of a family who have lost 14 members, 16 members. So there are very young kids who have been saved, but the entire family has vanished. So these are very critical situations. So rescue operations later on, without spending any day, we should start the rehabilitation process. I believe the state and the central government would work hand in hand and give more money for the rehabilitation process.
Right, and what more do you think can be done for the families of Wayanad who are, terribly affected by this tragedy?
See, rehabilitation and restoration should be in different phases. The first priority would be to allot them lands. Government should allot them lands under their guidance and leadership. The state government should take initiatives to give them new lands where they have cultivation, where they can stay peacefully. Apart from which, houses have to be built. Many organizations, Rahul Gandhi, the leader of opposition, has declared 100 houses would be built. Many organizations, the Karnataka state government have promised 100 houses. There are many youth organizations from all the parties who have made their statements in terms of housing. So we all expect the rehabilitation process to happen at a phase-by-phase manner. Lives have been lost, livelihood have been lost. Restoration of livelihood is one such manner. Kids who have lost their entire families, their education is another priority. As I said, farmers have lost their cultivation land. They should be given their bread and butter. So there are different forms in which the disaster assessment should happen, not just their houses and land, but apart from that, their livelihood assessment should also happen. Kids' education should happen. So these are many things in the coming months and weeks we should take care of.
Right. Well, the centre has also declared 57,000 square kilometres of the Western Ghats as an eco-sensitive region. What do you think should be done now to improve the preparedness in such regions when we know the problem?
See, we should have technology, we should have modern amenities in place whereby we can predict a cloud burst, or where we can understand earthquakes, or we would understand that landslide prone areas should be mapped, and all modern facilities and amenities should be used. Of course, there are times when no technology can help us, but whatever disasters happen, if we are capable of understanding it a bit more in advance, at least a week in advance, so that the efforts can be made by the local self-governments, the district administration, to make sure that no lives are lost. Even though we lose houses and other valuables, the most important thing is to save more lives. So if we have more technology in place, more agencies in place who can study the efforts and who can study the effects. And as you mentioned, there are ecologically fragile areas. Government should take a stand whereby very, very important land-prone areas, ecologically sensitive areas, landslide-prone areas should be mapped, and sufficient necessities should be arranged to rehabilitate them as well.
And why are we seeing a center versus state fight over this? Shouldn't politics take a pause for the kind of problem we are seeing in Wayanad?
The honorable member of the parliament from Karnataka, Bengaluru, my colleague, Sri Tejasvi Surya, made a very drastic comment inside the parliament during the first days of the landslide, exactly on the third day of the landslide or second day of the landslide, which was quite not unacceptable. The thing is, we don't want any kind of politics, any kind of playing game in this particular matter. Our entire focus and efforts and priorities should be to save more lives, to make sure more damage is not happen, rescue operations happen at a faster pace. The entire people of Wayanad, entire people of Kerala are praying and giving their efforts, and whatever they have, they are putting their efforts and soul together to make sure Wayanad stands strong. So this is not a time for petty politics to happen and center and state blaming on each other about the warnings and situations. That is something which we should take care at a later point of time. Both of them can keep their arguments at the place. But right now, this is not a time to make petty politics. This is a time where we have to very, very seriously take care of the families who are in distress, supply essential commodities to the camps, make sure that every amenity is provided to every single person who have survived from the landslide.
All right, Hibi Eden, appreciate you joining us.